So this was her first time in a room, and she was in here without her siblings, without her mom, and without me. She was with my two adult daughters, and so she was learning to walk on slippery floors here for the first time, as you see, and exploring and trying to see essentially how fearful she's going to be. And as you can see, she is lovely and doesn't cower or hide in a corner, immediately starts playing. And she is absolutely beautiful and adorable. This video was from a couple of days ago, and then following this video, we do have the beach video where we brought them there.
No, you can't do that. No. That didn't work. No, it's not. No, you can't do that. You can't think it either. That's cheating.
It was very, very windy, and so that was absolutely her first experience with wind, but it was a really strong wind. So it is interesting to see how she did. And then the other time it was much nicer. And she had a really good time. She played in the water, she played in the sand. She is fearless. She'll pretty much go absolutely anywhere. She's the biggest puppy in the litter, so she's kind of the tough puppy. She's definitely the boss. One of my favorite things about this little girl is that she really does take no for an answer quite well. She stops what she's doing and she listens. I mean, she pushes back a little bit because she is a very confident girl and she'll let you know, but she takes no for an answer pretty well.
Oh my god.
Compared to her siblings who are constantly putting absolutely everything in their mouths, with her, you barely have to redirect or tell her, hey, don't do that, and she will actually stop. So she's clever, very confident, very outgoing. She's definitely the boss puppy in the litter. So everybody does what she says, and really just have been absolutely enjoying her. And as you can see, you know, her coat and her coloring and everything about her is just gorgeous. So I'm really enjoying this baby. And now we had the temperament test, which really is going to tell us a lot more about her. But before I dive into what the temperament test results were, I wanted to mention that if you notice in this video, she sniffs around a lot. Now, I didn't watch this video get created, so I didn't see it while it was happening in real time. But when I was watching the video later on, I noticed that, boy, she really had her nose to the ground a lot in here, like she could smell something. And then I noticed she repeatedly went over to a basket in the corner, a little woven basket, and she tried to dig her way into it, and she sniffed around it, and she even barked at it. And so I thought, you know, that's strange. Like, I wonder what's in there that she smells, because it was absolutely clear to me that she smells something in that room. And so I went in there with her, and she went right around and did the same thing that she did before. She sort of sniffed along the baseboards, and she ended up back in that, near that basket. And when I started to move the basket to look in it, she jumped back and started barking. And sure enough, inside the basket was a big old rat snake, which they're not poisonous, but it was definitely what she was smelling. So we relocated that guy outside where he cannot be in my house and creep me out. But it was really cool. So she definitely has a nose on her. None of the other puppies noticed that anything was amiss. All 5 puppies were in this room, and all 5 puppies were in this room at different times, and she's the only one that was sniffing around and let me know that something was definitely going on. So she's got a nose for her, and I think she'd probably be fun playing like hide and seek with toys and treats, because she absolutely has a good nose. So that was just really cool, and I thought that I would share that.
can't eat that either.
We're going to follow this up with the beach video, and her behavior at the beach was amazing. You see that she definitely deals with noticing sand for the first time. I mean, they all kind of hate sand getting on their rear ends because it sticks to them, and so they do all react to that, the wind and everything. But she was a champ. Several of the puppies were too afraid to even play at all, and it was her and another two of her siblings that did really have a good time. But she went in the water. She just had a blast. So she is very confident and great and outgoing in public places. I think with proper socialization, she's going to be a really outgoing puppy that'll be happy going on walks, going places, seeing people, meeting new people. And I just really love to see that. Because cockapoos can have an issue with fearfulness, and she's just definitely an outgoing, happy puppy that thinks everybody is her friend.
What? Girl.
As for the official temperament evaluation, this is what we have. She absolutely wagged her tail the entire time. There was never a tucked tail, never any kind of crouching, never any hiding. She did really well. There was no obvious fear reactions. Very, very intelligent, very good reactions. She isn't also overly assertive. She's really nice right in the middle, just that perfect spot that we like to see them in. Now, resistance to unpleasant handling. Her resistance was really pretty neutral. She had a neutral, confident response. She had a little bit of persistence. It was very mild. She didn't really go crazy when she was being handled in ways she didn't like. She squirmed a little bit and she chewed on you a little bit, but she did not go crazy. She definitely didn't have any kind of fear reaction, no aggressive reaction, and she did not get angry or pouty after the fact. So she handled grooming really nicely. Possessiveness. You can take things away from her. She will follow the toy. If you're taking a toy from her, she'll kind of hang on to it, but if you're letting her know you're taking it, she will let it go. She won't fight with you. You can take food right out of her mouth and she will paw at you and she might lick at you, but she does not have any kind of issue with that. If her siblings try to take stuff from her, she mostly just wrestles them and wins because she's the best wrestler. But she does not show any kind of issues as far as that. So she really gets a very mild resistance when it comes to possessiveness. And while she is bigger than her siblings to a tiny degree and just in general wrestles better, she doesn't seem to throw her weight around in a way that indicates that she's super dominant. Like, she doesn't constantly try to be the boss of all the puppies. She just likes to wrestle and she just tends to win when she does it, but nobody avoids wrestling with her because she's fun to wrestle with and nobody feels like they're being constantly dominated by her. So she really isn't like an overbearing tough puppy, which sometimes we get with that large puppy in the litter. They sort of throw themselves around and they feel like they're the big, the big dog. They feel like they're the big fish in the little pond, and then they leave and they realize they're not quite so big. But she doesn't have that at all. So she just plays with everybody and doesn't seem to realize much in the way of her being the biggest, even though she does have a tendency to win every wrestling match she gets into. Reactivity to noise, movement, and strangers. Her reactivity was really normal. It was very moderate. She had a healthy startle, a quick recovery. She was interested in exploring any source of motion or noise after she recovered from her initial startle, and her recover time was really very short. She was confident, happy, unbothered by most things, and had a very good score in those tests. So she will do beautifully in public spaces with lots of loving socialization and should always enjoy meeting strangers. Now, dog on dog or inter-puppy sociability. She's very social. She really enjoys other dogs. She likes to wrestle. She does generally win, but she does not seem to make it a point. She doesn't appear to be very domineering. She doesn't like to pin puppies down. There's no aggression in it. It's really just happy, engaging play, and she enjoys playing in lots of different ways. So that isn't the only thing that she does. So there's nothing that looks like any kind of concerns here. She's not too shy to play, and she's not too aggressive or domineering that there's any kind of an issue there. Now for the following, the levels are rated a 1 to 5, compared to other cockapoos, not compared to all dogs in existence. So for our confidence level, we have a rating of 1 to 5, with 1 being terrified of everything and a 5 being sort of attack a bear confidence. And she's a level 4. So she is a very highly confident puppy. I really like to see this, 3s to 4s, 4.5. Sometimes when you get a little too high, you get a little too confident, and then there's sort of a leap without looking sort of an attitude, which I don't love. But you can really see that she has some impulse control. She thinks and she reacts appropriately. For example, on that smooth floor, she runs around. She slid once or twice and she learned her lesson and sort of crawled and very carefully watched her footing. None of her other siblings did that. They all just went gung-ho and slid all over the place, or they were very, very cautious and scared the entire time. She is definitely that perfect middle ground of being very confident and enthusiastic and exuberant, but also having enough impulse control and thought to kind of slow down and recognize, like, oh, I better think this through. And so she was able to control her enthusiasm and her play in a way that actually benefited her safety. So that's exactly what we look for. I mean, it was absolutely perfect as far as that goes. I have never seen her throw herself off of an elevated surface or do anything like that, which again, a lot of enthusiastic, confident puppies, they'll sort of trust fall all the time without making sure you're right there. So you always have to have a hand on them. And not that I'm saying I would always recommend having a hand on her, even though I think that she's really pretty smart about things, just because she's a puppy and puppies do silly things and they lose their footing. But I do really like seeing that she thinks things through a little bit. She has a tendency to pay attention to her surroundings and not just blindly jump off of things or, get crazy enthusiastic. So I do really like that about her. Her energy level rating is 1 to 5, with 1 being lazy cockapoo skin rug. And a level 5 is that never-ending cascade of tennis balls dropped into your lap. She is right at a 3. She does have like a nice burst of energy. She likes to play, but she peters out after about 20 minutes. Super duper playful puppies that are in that range of 4 or 5 at this age will play for about 45 to 50 minutes straight. And she's at about half of that. She is very playful, but I think she'll also be very snuggly and very relaxed and not too over the top. So again, right in the middle. I don't think that she's going to be up for, 45-minute jogs or anything like that, but she is not super lazy. She's going to enjoy going for walks. She likes to go outside and investigate the world, but she's also definitely going to be relaxed enough that I don't think you're going to have any issues. For example, if you're stuck inside during a hurricane or something like that, or a snowstorm, she's not going to be the type of dog that's climbing up the walls with frustration because she's so energetic. So again, she's right in that sweet spot that I really like to aim for. All right, desire to play and interact. 1 to 5, with 1 being, I think my dog's a cat, and level 5 being, if my dog could speak English, his first sentence to everyone would be, hello, I just met you and I love you. She's definitely a level 5. She loves everyone and everything. She loves to be picked up. She will spend time at your legs or anybody's legs trying to get them to pick her up. It doesn't matter if it's a stranger. She will kiss everybody. She thinks the whole world is her friend, and I love that. With appropriate socialization, she will continue to be a very friendly and social dog. So there were 3 puppies in this litter that were extremely friendly and only 2 that were a little bit cautious. Again, that is a very common thing with cockapoos. They have a tendency to err on the side of cautious for the most part, but I really love very outgoing, happy, friendly cockapoos. They're just the best, and she absolutely falls into that category. The next one is desire to bite, mouth, and wrestle, as far as just putting things in her mouth in general, and also biting people. With a 1 being a dog that finds mouthing, offensive, and a level 5 is when you're concerned your dog may have been crossed with an alligator. So she's a level 3. Which again is really in a nice spot. Even though is pretty playful, she's moderately playful. She's definitely not a lazy puppy. She likes to play. She really does not have a huge problem with putting absolutely everything in her mouth, and she redirects really easily. You can tell her no, or you can bait her with a toy and get her attention shifted over, and that's not really an issue. Now, with her siblings, 3 of those siblings, they really have a tendency to put absolutely everything in their mouths. And you can see the difference there in that she just simply doesn't do that. She licks things. She's more likely to lick something than to immediately bite it. But you can see there's a little bit of testing things out with her mouth here and there, like all puppies do. But I don't think that she's going to be the kind of puppy that you are constantly chasing around trying to take things out of her mouth. She's not quite that bad. When we're running around outside, I have not had any issue with her picking things up like leaves or bugs or anything like that. She's the only puppy that didn't get a mouthful of sand at the beach as well. So I was very happy to see that. Now, for a desire to sit in laps, be cuddled, give kisses, that sort of thing, affection, with a level 1 being I will bite you if you try to hug me, and a level 5 is I will bite you if you try to take me out of your lap. In both of these extremes, I have seen in cockapoos, actually, they can really be all over the place here. But of course, I have been aiming for a really good level 4 or 3 in cockapoos. Again, we really like that middle ground. With cockapoos, that's sort of the ideal cockapoo. If you've had a cockapoo before, you will know what I'm talking about. That happy, affectionate, follow you around kind of dog. And she gets a level 4. She will definitely give you lots of kisses. She will follow you around. She doesn't mind coming off the lap. She won't fight over sitting in the lap. She does like to lay down on the ground next to me. She likes to lay on my feet, but she doesn't necessarily fight to be in my lap. She is perfectly happy sitting next to me and just laying her head on my knee. So she'll give me space if I need her to. She's not really all over and on top of me like some of the other puppies are. So very affectionate, but she is at that level 4. Again, she really falls right in the sweet spot with these. So that is it for her. Our overall with her is really that she's great with kids. She should be easy to socialize. She's high intelligence. I think that she will want to be busy intellectually. Puzzle toys would be good for her. Lots of chew toys and play toys. She doesn't seem to be interested in destroying things. I haven't seen her pulling things apart. So she's just really falls right in the center. She does prefer people to dogs. She would rather follow me around or one of the kids around than actually spend time with any of the other dogs, which again is something we like with cockapoos, and we do see that often. She is really all around the quintessential good American family dog. I'm super happy with her. She has a desire to interact. She's going to want to be with you. She's going to want to spend time with you, but she does make herself happy if she is on her own. I don't see much of a risk here with separation anxiety. She is pretty good in the playpen on her own. She will chew. She'll, bark and cry a little bit. And we're still working on training with playpen and crating, of course. But she does not get really worked up. I don't see fear. I don't see attachment problems. I don't see anxiety and nervousness with her. She's really a pretty all-around, sturdy, settled girl, and I'm very happy with her. She's a very balanced dog. So that is it for her, and I thought I would send that off to you, and now we can set up a time for her to come home and payment and all of that sort of thing. So let me know what you think. Bye.